Just a couple of guys, a couple of microphones, and a heck of a lot of know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, Noodles? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show.
Yeah, absolutely,
That's right.
buddy.
And we are super psyched to bring you yet another edition of Madden re-ratings.
Yeah, we're going to get into that just in a little bit. We always love to do that every year, and it's astonishing the difference in the ratings as we go through using the information that they give us.
Yeah, information
and how
they give
different
us.
it is, after everything. But
And we make it the correct way for all you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, definitely check that out in a little bit. But a lot of topics have been coming up and overtaking the news lately with the NFL. And it was funny is it happened a little bit last week, like right after our show. Again, isn't that funny how some of this news drops like right after our show? But it happened that day of it, like last Wednesday. And Sean Payton came out with just like a statement about somebody. He was in an interview and said something about, the previous regime that was with the Denver Broncos. And he was just all shots, just like, full out, even swearing like he does. It's funny. I never realized how much he really swore, but he's out there throwing it all out there and calling a lot of different people out. I mean, just recently before that, he was calling out, what was it? The former Raiders coach there, Chucky, freaking Gruden. He said something like, because about when somebody brought up about the fines, remember, for the masking? They said something like when he got fined for the mask, I guess, I don't know if Sean Payton never paid the fine, but he called him an effing idiot for paying the fine for the mask thing. Remember they got fined for not wearing one on the sidelines and all that crap during COVID? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he flat out called him an effing idiot, like right there in a quote. But now he turns his sights here on the Denver Broncos and saying now that with this regime the previous regime was just a mess. Everything that they did, he's basically gonna do the opposite.
He's undoing. Undoing it all.
Doing it all. And he's saying that, hey, I'm confident in Russell Wilson, what he's been doing and what he is here. And what they were doing before, they just did everything wrong, getting plays in late and everything and everything. And that's what I guess the stats show it. When they were saying last year, I think they had so many false starts and things like that. They weren't getting the plays in quick enough. And I think Nathaniel Hackett, people knew already that things were in over his head, at times last season. But for him to go out and blatantly call out a former coach, and I wasn't sure if there was a code amongst coaches and things like that.
There is.
Nathaniel Hackett had said, he's growing up a son of a coach, and he said there kind of is
there
a
is
brotherhood
a code,
in a sense, and things you don't kind of do. We kind of brought it up as just kind of like it's kind of funny. It seemed like that's Sean Payton, but we didn't know how much of an effect it would have until it kind of went nationwide with everybody trying to get reactions, and even in our own Football on the Know Show group chat. People started talking about it.
Yeah, like going back and forth and everything. And actually, this whole thing has become a bigger story than I feel like it should have been. A coach kind of calling out another coach, and it's not like it's the first time it's ever happened. I mean, this has happened before, but to basically say that the former coaching staff was so abysmal and so bad at their jobs that now the current with Sean Payton is just basically complaining about them and saying, well, I got to redo all this stuff that they messed up and they left a mess and I got to clean it up. Like, this is ridiculous. But like, you're seeing former players of the Broncos, you're seeing Nathaniel Hackett be like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, he kind of broke the rule, the number one rule in terms of coaching, where we don't call each other out. We don't throw each other under the bus. And then you got former players kind of sticking up for old Natty Hackett.
Yep.
So basically attacking Sean Payton and saying like he's an effing bum. Mm-hmm. Like who is he to kind of dictate on where we were this season ago. So it's kind of hilarious how big this story actually got, and it's one of these things where like, okay, yeah, let's move on now. Like, this shouldn't even be a story, but it's kind of funny how it all kind of came about. And here we are, still talking about it. Like, it's like, all right, we're done now. Let's move on from this, because what's the end result?
Right.
You know, like, this ain't going to do anything for us. So
Right.
we have one of our know-it-alls that just chimed in. He's got Paul Matty. What's up, Paul? He said, what's up from Playa Linda Beach?
Playa Linda Beach out there. That's right. I got to visit Playa Linda Beach sometime.
It's nice.
He keeps telling me about this. It makes me intrigued to go there sometime.
It's nice.
To
It's
check
very
it out,
nice.
you know. Former Floridian, and I haven't been there in a while, so it'd be nice to check it out. But the thing is, too, I think with Sean Payton, I just watched the Home Team too. You watched that movie yet? The Home Team, you know, the one that's kind of based loosely about what happened when he was fined for Bountygate.
Of course,
and all that stuff.
I've watched it like 3 times.
And I'm always late to the party, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I'm on one of those things, like, if it's a big and popular, I'm like,
I'm not jumping in just yet.
Yeah, I'm not, forget that popular crap. I'll
The
watch
water
it
is not warm enough
Yes, yeah, you know, I'll watch it months later or years later, and then give my own real opinion about it, see what I really think. But you know, it was pretty good, but, you know, again, I wonder how much of that is true. But you could kind of see in that movie even how they portray that he was kind of this hot shot, you know, well, I'll get back to work, you know, I'm going to, you know.
Ego guy,
yeah, I'm going to do my rebuttal or whatever, you know, and this, and then all of a sudden I'll be back, and all of a sudden he wasn't. So I'm like, all right, what the hell? And then small town saying, hey, big shot, blah, 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 and this stuff. So I can see how he maybe got humanized a little bit in that whole situation. But when it comes back to it,
too.
Yeah,
That's like the bigger thing is like, He spent so much time away from his son that now he has some extra time to kill, and until all the legal matters, you know, take place, I'll swing by and see how he's doing and everything, and kind of had to rebuild that relationship, or at least make an effort to, you know what I mean? And so there's like that aspect of it too in that movie, where just like you said, he became more humanized, like brought back down to earth, so to speak. You know, and it's like, no, there's more than just football. Like your son, like that's a big part. That should be a big part of your life. And he actually started to learn from it, and then, you know, obviously got better from that point on.
Right. But even they bring up the fact that headlines and people were going after him for allowing Bountygate to happen and things. And then, so for him to take shots at another coach after some of the things that had happened under him, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. But he's always kind of been vocal out there, despite, you know, being known as such a good coach, and what he did with like Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is his career is kind of rejuvenated when he went to the Saints and things like that after, you know, moving on from the Chargers. So I mean,
really killing it.
But yeah, it's just it's outlandish to be like that, to just call shots and say, hey, listen, whatever they did, I'm just going to do the complete opposite, you know. But it was just funny how it kind of blew up into a big thing, and everybody had to think about it.
So our boy Paul, he has a little bit of knowledge that he wanted to drop.
Yes, he wants
on
to
you.
drop some knowledge.
He's said Playa Linda Beach has a nude beach part. LOL.
Oh.
Get your fat ass back here.
So if you're interested,
I don't know if I first time I visit Playa
If you
Linda
wanna go
Beach
to a
and I
nude
hang out
beach?
with, well, if I hang out with Paul, I'm like, hey buddy, hey, remember from the show? Hey, we're getting together finally. Don't look at my wang. I won't look at yours. But just keep eyes right here. You know, it's
just
right there.
stare,
Hey,
stare into my
right here.
eyes.
You know, who knows? But
Don't look away.
it's like some of those movies. It's like mesmerizing. I can't help it. No, I'm trying to hear it. It's almost like reminds me of like Anchorman. I think it was, or it's like, what do I do with my hands or whatever? You know, I don't know what to do. But yeah. So that was one of the headlines I think that grabbed some things here.
Yeah.
But as of recent, though, Paul's laughing. But as of recent, I think that's really captured the headlines is. With the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, JT.
Drama in Indy. That's right. Jonathan Taylor requests a trade. And Ian Rappaport reports after all this and what had gone on between Irsay and Taylor is that now bridges have been burned. And here they keep going, you know. So it's we've heard different things about this from other running backs, Joe. And, you know, disgruntled about their contract. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to do whatever and stuff like that. The timing is kind of funny, I think, with this one. And the fact that an owner has come out after the fact and kind of been like, well, he's got a back injury, so I don't, whatever. We're going to keep him anyways. When he gets healthy, he's going to be playing for us, so whatever. So kind of even throw it out there. Yeah, I know, but then he's, back and say, I'm not injured. So
no.
The fact that kind of they're attacking each other's character kind of seems is kind of funny.
Yeah, so Irsay is like a kind of like a laughable drunk. Like he
is he the next one they're going to go after maybe too if he does certain things? I mean, because he's also going to get pulled over with like a huge bag of money.
The guy is so off the wall. Like just from listening to people that know him, that are close to him, former staff members and coaches and whatnot, and they do these little interviews, and when they talk about Irsay, they talk about him like he's a whack job, like he's like not fit to be an owner, and he gets into trouble like he did in the past. He's done cocaine. He's drank a lot, like he's an alcoholic, like all these kind of negative things. And it's like, well, if this guy is ahead of it, and then anytime he speaks, if I'm a fan or if I'm someone that's paying attention to the Colts, I'm not listening to him at all, because he might be just trying to, skew the story a certain way to fit his line of thinking. So for him to come out and then kind of claim like, oh, well, Jonathan Taylor has a back injury, we're just going to be patient with him. We'll wait until he's ready to come back. And Taylor comes right out, fires right away. No, I'm not injured. What are you talking about? No, I'm healthy. I'm good. I just want to be traded because they don't want to deal with me. They don't want to pay me the money or close to the money that I think I deserve. Yeah. So here we are, and it's a battle of he said, she said, and she being Irsay. So all I have to say is that I believe Taylor is in the right. I think Taylor, he does deserve the money. Like, look at you. Excuse me. You literally, he's the backbone of your offense. Like, what do you have? You got a rookie quarterback right now. What does he need? He needs that backbone of that offense. He needs that running back like Jonathan Taylor to come in to alleviate any pressure. Mm-hmm. So get it done. You know what I mean? Figure out a way to get the contract done, because that is such a big part of your offense. And now that you have a rookie quarterback, you don't want him going out there with a average type of running back behind him. You want the best. You want one of the best in Jonathan Taylor. So I think the issue, and we've seen this happen year in and year out with different players, where they claim they're going to hold out till week 1, or they're going to hold out mid-season, or whatever it is. But a lot of times these situations, they get handled. All of a sudden, we're going to talk about 2 weeks from now, Jonathan Taylor signing a new extension. Mm-hmm. And everyone's going to, and this story is going to be null and void. It's not going to matter, So people need to kind of take it for what it is. Okay, it's a little bit, everyone's on edge a little bit, but in the end, I think it gets done. He's going to be a Colt, and just like for a lot of other players that are still not signed to extensions and everything, I think it's all going to fall in line.
Yeah, I hear you, and that's the first thing reaction I went to first with this whole thing, because usually that's the way it goes too. But it seems like even for this whole thing, he was very vocal on Twitter when the whole thing was going on with Saquon Barkley and those guys. And once that trade or that deadline came to sign the franchise tag, and Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley didn't get their deals. I mean, he even went to Twitter here, and I have the tweet here, and he instantly went there and said, if you're good enough, they'll find you. If you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, you boost the organization. And then, ... it don't matter because you're a running back. And so he was already kind of making himself that martyr. Even that guy out there say, hey, I'm fighting for us out here vocally for everybody, or at least I'm standing on my soapbox that I can. And it was kind of funny too. Like, we even talked about it, after that whole situation went down with those guys, it seemed like all of a sudden the committee of running backs were trying to band together and hey, we got to do something about this. We got to change the view of how we're viewed. But owners just look at it as kind of the smart business sense, and how, hey, if I can get a younger guy here that's fresh and got the fresh legs and not banged up as much, I'm going to do that because I just need a little bit of a running game to mix it up and stuff. And if not, I can get the personnel to kind of do a short passing game to mimic that running game to loosen it up. I know you said right here with a rookie quarterback in Richardson, they could use Jonathan
They
Taylor
need it.
right
They
here
need
to
it.
get that balance because, again, they're not lighting things up with a wide receiving crew here, for them. So I don't think that's blowing anything off the
Still
charts
need to
here.
upgrade it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need an upgrade still. So he was their main focus. So he has them by that point. But again, when it all comes out in the wash, it is the value of running backs, and he might just have to settle for whatever he thinks possibly he can get for at that time. And for most guys, it's just whatever guaranteed money he can get up front. As far as trades, again, if you want to even say that, there's a remotely close that there might happen, be a trade again, people already know the value's down because, they're not getting along. So what are you potentially going to get as, for the Colts? Absolutely, really nothing. But what, as Ian Rappaport had said, there's other teams that had come out that said, hey, we're willing even to pay him a contract that he's looking for. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Everybody's going to say that too to try and get him and stuff. But again, what other teams would be even interested in paying somebody like that if even the New York Giants won't pay for even like Saquon Barkley?
It's not that they won't. It's that what are they comfortable with in paying? Because they have a cap. They have a future of cap room that they have to worry about. So everything is a calculated decision in the front office. So it's not like, oh, we don't feel like paying you, so we're going to go in a different direction. It's what do we feel comfortable with paying? What can we afford? Because we got other players besides you that we have to sign down the road. So do I think it's a thing where, oh, he's not going to get his money? No, he's going to get his money. It's going to happen. And the other part of this is how important he is to that team. Like, he's a captain. He is the offensive go-to weapon right now, until Anthony Richardson kind of develops and hopefully becomes that starting caliber quarterback that they hope they drafted. They got to rely on the go-to guy, which right now is Jonathan Taylor. And I think this also follows suit with everybody else, with Barkley for a long-term deal. Like, they worked out something so he's there for this year and he's not going to hold out and all that. And Jacobs says that he's going to hold out until week 1, possibly wait till after week 1. But again, we hear a lot of these guys say things, and then in the end, they get a deal done before the season's even here. So I think I'm kind of just, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see. We got the whole month of August. Training camp is in full swing right now. And let's just wait and see how everything falls.
Absolutely. Hey, let us know in the comments what you guys think about stuff out there. Any topics you want to hear about too out there, let us know. I mean, they did release some more of the helmets, the throwback helmets and things like that too out there. I think some of those are flashy. I'm excited to see. I would hope that they were going to do more of that. We've seen the throwback uniforms before and stuff. So the fact that they're kind of paying homage and doing throwbacks, but then also, not only retro, but also newer kind of looks mixed in with some of that with the color rush and stuff, I think is pretty neat. And I'm excited to see a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think the Detroit Lions is a cool one because it's still that powder blue a little bit, a full powder blue, helmet, but with the old school Lions helmet. Have you seen the Denver Broncos one? They went back to the old school.
The old school.
The old school one, but it's a white helmet.
Yep.
So that's interesting. I'm wondering what they're going to do with the jersey with that one.
No, they're going to keep it orange.
So who knows? So they're going to almost be just orange and white.
It's just the helmet that changed.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I saw the advertisement of Patrick Surtain walking out, and then the helmet is.
Well, if it's all color rush too, do you think they go all white plus the white helmet? Is that what they're doing, complete white out?
No, I think they're just going to do their normal jerseys, orange and blue, and then they're going to have a white helmet.
Okay.
Because that's how he walked out.
Oh.
He walked out into the orange and blue uniform and then saw the white helmet, picked it up, and then put it on.
The hype.
That is fantastic.
I am excited about the Seattle Seahawks, though, because, I remember the old 80s, Brian Blades and Seattle Seahawks with the silver helmets. And that's what they got, again, the silver helmets. So I'm hoping they go with the blue jerseys, with the different pants.
Yeah, the old school stuff.
That would be pretty awesome to
That
go
would
back
be
to.
nice.
One thing that would be awesome, too, is if you guys go to repsports.com and type in the promo code Raise Them Up, and you guys can save yourself some money on some Raise Energy. Joe, why don't you tell everybody about Raise Energy?
Oh, yeah. Listen, if you're looking for an energy drink, this one kicks your ass.
It is.
And in a good way. I'll tell you right now, I've had a lot of different kinds. Like everybody out there has had Monster,
They have tons out
Rockstar,
now, dude.
and stuff like that.
They're all over the place.
Now there's all kinds of stuff. There's C4. There's Ghost. There's all kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous. But I'll tell you right now, Raise is the energy drink for you because not only is it full of vitamins, it's full of amino acids and electrolytes and all this good stuff in it. It's also no sugar. It gives you a huge energy boost, and on top of it all, no crash. Like it's that simple. No crash at all. You don't feel drowsy after it wears off. What? And that's kind of the biggest thing for me anyway. So I get a boost. I don't crash afterwards. I don't feel tired like I got to take a nap or anything like that. So I'll tell you right now, it's made in Florida. So it's made in the USA. You go get yourself, go to repsports.com, and while you're there, just enter the promo code Raise 'em Up. You enter that promo code Raise 'em Up, you get 30% off your order. And why not order a couple cases? Don't even stop at one. But just load it up.
Yeah, get a couple. I always get a couple and stuff like that because that's what I mean. You're saving on the shipping and all that stuff too as well. So Raise Energy, we drink it. We wouldn't if we didn't, think it was one of the greatest things. Not just because we
it's good
supported
stuff.
It, sponsored.
I mean, we kind
definitely good.
And the weird thing is, we stumbled on them.
Yeah,
like we didn't even know they existed.
Yeah,
and then
true.
I don't know. I don't know if I was like kind of. I saw an advertisement or something for it, and then I kind of got into it, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I ordered a case, like a variety case, and we both tried it, and we're like, yeah, it's not bad. And I'll tell you right now, very unique flavors. It's not like this is red berry or orange burst. No, this stuff is kind of crazy. Like their flavors that they have, like Starlight and stuff like that, like try to figure
Rainbow,
it out.
Yeah.
Try to figure out
That's
what it is.
part of the fun.
Because they're very unique flavors, and that's half the fun right there.
Yeah, they're
when
familiar
you're
flavors, and they taste good. And like you said, I mean, none of the dyes, too, because it's all clear and stuff, too.
No dyes. It's just absolutely clear, like you said.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah,
So,
Raise 'em Up. Enter your promo code Raise 'em Up. Get yourself 30% off, and you can thank us later.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you know what time it is. Time to get to the Madden re-ratings. That's right. We do this every year. We already did running backs last week. And again, there was a bit of a drastic change, especially with the way, because, they want to call 99s here and all this other stuff. But, Christian McCaffrey was, I think, the biggest mover, in that list that moved up, and he was kind of dogged in some spots. Alvin Kamara jumped into the top 10 spot, and he wasn't originally there. So a bit of a mix-up and a shake-up in things. But I will see what we're going to look at for some wide receivers here. And let's take a look at the list here, Joe. And this is the way the list goes here. Let me blow it up in your monitor here. So Justin Jefferson, as we know, is the 99. That was a big name that they listed this year as the 99. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's kind of funny how Aaron Donald gets overlooked again. It's like, Aaron Donald's a 99 again. But too bad. Justin Jefferson, here he is. And it's almost like a prelude, I think, that maybe Justin Jefferson possibly is going to be the next cover guy, possibly next year if he has another good year. Who knows? If they decide to put another wide receiver on,
they got to make the playoffs at least.
Not. Yeah.
It's not happening otherwise.
Yeah, well, yeah, who knows? Yeah, you never know. A lot of times they go to individual talent, seasons of what they do, because we saw Peyton Hillis, make the Madden cover before. And I don't think they were a playoff team that year.
Oh, they were because of him, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. All right, so there you go. There's the list. We already know it here. Tyreek Hill there, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp. Now, with that list, let's take a look at it just real quick again. I think it's kind of funny where they have some of these guys even, too. With even DeAndre Hopkins with being, injured for most of the year last year? Like a lot.
Yeah, like how is he in 93? Like
he was above these other guys that played the whole season,
Yeah, and that's the thing for me is, like, if a player was, significantly injured, missed a lot of time the previous season, how do they still have a 90-plus rating? Like, shouldn't they kind of be knocked down a peg or two? You know what I mean? Not even be in the top 10. I mean, because honestly, that's what you're doing. It's a production type of a rating. So if you missed half the year last year, why would you still be considered a top 10 player? You didn't play.
Yeah, and it's even, I know it's like preluding to this upcoming season, but I'm like, so what did you do? Did you take a couple ticks off just expecting, he didn't play last year, but we expect this year a little bounce back, so they put that in play. Like, here you go.
And that's the other thing is
kinda
like
funny.
is like the variables that they add or subtract points based on like you got a different quarterback. So do we think that's going to enhance your play or not? Here's a couple more bonus points.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Who knows? All right, so there's your list. Amari Cooper was there in the 10th spot. So he started off with a 91, okay? So after
right.
we did the math and crunched the numbers, he ends up here with a 91 still, surprisingly enough. And again, when I
That
do
is
the
different.
data here, the decimals end up and stuff like that, and I round to the nearest tenth and things like that. So when you see some guys with similar numbers, the same number, I'm sure Madden does it the same ways because you see multiple guys with the same rating. That's why they're above them. So it's not because I decided to be biased and choose them just in case.
Jim's always biased.
Argue about it, So who knows? We'll see what happens when we get to.
He likes to stir the pot.
Get to Dak Prescott, I guess, right? So here we go. There's Amari Cooper there at number 10. So number 9 we have. It was A.J. Brown. So here we go. A.J. Brown is here with a 91. So there you go. 91. And so he actually stays, I think, the same too as well.
Same spot.
Same spot right there. And so there not much of a change there too.
Right.
Again, and for even some of his things, I think that kind of his ratings, I looked at it, and they kind of dogged him a little bit for having a stupendous year that he did last year.
That's what I was just about to say because like A.J. Brown had a phenomenal year last year with the Eagles and really kind of blew up as the number one option easily for Philly. And to have as good a year as he did and for it to reflect so badly in Madden, I kind of question that. I think he should be pumped up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, all right, here we go to number 8. We had Terry McLaurin here, and he is now a 92. Originally, Terry McLaurin,
92.
He was a 92 before. So all the numbers are
So
actually
far.
matching up for once here
So
for Madden.
far.
Isn't that kind of funny how it's working out? They're like, hey, maybe they got one of these seasons right here with wide receivers at least. Maybe who knows?
Maybe they got
But again, when we get to the 99s, that's the one that's going to bother me probably. Okay.
You know what bothers me?
What's up?
Is that DeAndre Hopkins is a Titan. It is so weird.
It is kind of weird.
So
and what's
weird.
funny though too, again, how everybody kind of, I don't know. Then like we're talking about him, they're giving him a decent rating still here, but still, I think hands wise and what we've seen him do when he was healthy in the last couple of seasons, still one of those elite wide receivers,
Of course.
But some of the views, like when he was on Twitter and they said, like somebody dogged him about, here he is at practice again and he's kind of walking around and not doing anything. And everybody was kind of, blowing it up on Twitter and, dogging him and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, there
Maybe
he
he
is.
was
Blah,
just
blah, blah.
resting at that time.
It's like,
so what?
All the haters come out all of a sudden and they're
crazy.
attacking DeAndre Hopkins.
Crazy.
Like what changed with everybody? Was it simply the fact that he just was injured or something? You didn't see a lot of him, or he just had a down year, so everybody thinks he's trash now or something?
No.
I don't get it. Did you
Maybe
are you
because-
picking that up a little bit? Or?
I think people are just upset that he didn't choose their team. So they're all butthurt.
Perhaps because it could be because you did see that a lot. Whenever people are looking for that wide receiver, they're
Look,
all like,
screw that guy.
D-Hop, come here,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's not. And they're like, yeah, whatever.
But here's my thing. I want to touch on this real
Sure.
quick. Is what Hopkins going to Tennessee, and he got paid decent. Don't get me wrong, but why would you choose Tennessee where they run a lot? They run heavily. That offense is a run-heavy offense, and you chose to go there to be their number one receiver. So, are they changing the offense and we don't know about it?
Right.
Like, is Hopkins going to be more of a factor and they're going to make this more of a 50-50 split in terms of run and pass? So, my thing is, that decision he made to go to Tennessee is that the best decision for you, late in your career? I kind of question that. So I didn't understand the decision, but who knows? Maybe they are going to shake things up on offense.
Yeah, because even when he's looking at his, my landing spots, what am I looking for? I'm looking for, a team
Quarterback.
with a quarterback.
He said quarterback was one, defense 2, and a team that is competitive.
Yeah, and offense was ranked 30th last year for, the Titans, and defense was 23rd. So, and points for were 14.
So none of the boxes got checked.
That's what I'm saying. None of the boxes got checked at all for this whole thing. It was kind of funny, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
But, all right, so DeAndre Hopkins, he ends up with a
Let's
92 right
92.
here.
So what? He moved down 1 point.
Yep. So he moved down 1 point. So now maybe we're going to see a little bit of the fluctuation.
Scary
here.
Terry at
Scary
92.
Terry at 92. That's right.
So he's the same. He stayed the same.
Yeah, the last three have all kind of stayed the same here.
Okay.
They've stayed the same. So, all right, next up, we've got Jamar Chase now. And Jamar Chase is a 94 now.
Still the same.
There you go. So he stayed the same here. And, again, it was funny when I was looking at some of the statistics for some of these guys because you kind of argue – well, you know, you're doing little arguments like how come this guy's a 90-something this and this guy's this. Right. But some of these guys popped up with, like, you know, short route running or whatever or catching was, like, terrible. You know, like DeAndre Hopkins got terrible short, you know, reception. Like, why? You know, I mean, terrible compared to some of these guys. He's the one that was in the 80s. You know, because you see that echelon where it crosses from different 90s to all of a sudden now you're seeing 80s amongst the wide receivers. And I think DeAndre Hopkins was one of those, which I thought was interesting because I think he could catch the ball wherever.
Oh no, he can.
Field.
He can. I don't think it's in terms of catching. It's just the plays. Mm-hmm. Really, it comes down to like the playbook and everything. Like some of those plays, those short routes or whatever the play call was.
Yeah. They
just don't work against a certain defense, so that could be it too.
Mm-hmm. Next, we're up to Stephon Diggs here. He's right above Jamar Chase, and let's see what his rating is here.
Is he?
He is now a 94, too. It's right there. So he's a 94.
So he dropped down 2 points.
2 points. So Stephon Diggs dropped down 2 points. So
but they're still close. Like every one is either spot on or just a couple ticks up or down.
And remember now, Cooper Kupp was above him with a 96. So let's see what they think of Cooper Kupp after all the numbers are crunched. And
93.
Whoa, Joe guessed it. There it is. It's a 93.
Oh, called it. Let's go.
You got it. Very well done, Joe.
Thank you.
Maybe I should have you guess them before they come. You know, that might be fun. Because really, he doesn't see the numbers, by the way, everybody, too, when we're looking at all this stuff before it goes.
I'm literally shocked.
So maybe we'll do that with the next one here. Cooper Kupp was a 96. Now he's a 93, so he lost 3 here.
That's a big drop, actually.
It is.
It's a very big drop.
Devontae Adams is 3rd here with a 97.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Joe, do you want to take a guess on what he might be?
I'm gonna go 95.
95.
I'm thinking 95.
All right, here we go. And Devontae Adams is a 96.
Off by
so
1.
You were close without going over, though. So you get both showcases. You know, so there you go, Joe.
Get to take them home.
So actually it goes up here, or stays the same way.
He went down.
He went down only one tick,
1 point.
but still a 96. But now you see a little bit of a difference between some of them. Cooper Kupp now 3 down from Devontae Adams here at a 96. All right, so now we're getting into the last 2. We got Tyreek Hill, that was a 98, and then, of course, Justin Jefferson, a 99. So let's get to the last 2 here in Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill now is a 95, Joe.
Wow, 95. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so
I
he
didn't
goes
expect
from
that far.
A 98 to a 95, so he drops 3 ticks.
That is crazy.
Yep. And it really is, when I was looking at the stuff again, they really like his agility, you know, what he does there.
Speed, acceleration.
But catching in traffic, like things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've seen him make some amazing catches.
Terrible. Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah. It was bad. You
royally screwed this up.
Do you have the numbers down there?
Yeah, I do actually.
Look at Tyreek Hill's catching in traffic. I could swear it was
Let me see here.
It was really poor. But again, speed's all there. Change of direction. I think he even had a 99 still. Some of those other ones he was upper 90s. But
so catching was a 94.
Yeah, catching all together 94. That's what he was ticked. Yeah, he was brought down lower from what Jefferson is. So I thought it was kind of funny what Justin Jefferson might have been like a 98 or 97 or something, and Tyreek Hill moved to a 94 on that one. Oh, yeah, it was 98. Justin Jefferson, 94 for Tyreek Hill. So I thought that was kind of funny. The difference.
Catching traffic is at 87.
Yeah, 87. Yep.
How is that not at least a 90?
Yep.
Like, how is it? It should be like a 92 or something.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting there.
That is insane. Because I've seen him make some pretty darn amazing catches in traffic. So That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep. And in this one, I did not use like juke moves and stuff like that, stiff arm on nonsense, because it's still kind of different. And a lot of these receivers these days vary with a lot of.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is like bottom line for wide receivers is what route running, catching, speed, acceleration, speed. Jumping maybe, to go up for the high point of the ball, and that's about it.
Yep.
Like the spin moves and the juke moves are they're moves. They do use them, but is it like absolutely what you need as just a wide receiver? No, not really.
What I thought was funny is how many high ratings they gave a lot of these receivers for ball carrier vision. Like a lot of them were high 90s.
But why is ball carrier vision even
I don't know why they have that as part of that. Maybe, again, they're thinking of a lot of these guys,
running backs,
the yards after catch that they get and things like that.
Yeah, but you're in the open field usually.
I figured that would be going along hand in hand with the spin moves and stuff like that. So if you break a tackle, you get out that way. But I don't know.
I get it for running backs because the vision. Yeah. They got to see vision and pick a hole and.
Well, wait till we get to ball carrier vision. What we can do when we have to do quarterbacks? We have to look at like a Lamar Jackson, but then we see. Yeah. We can't put ball carrier vision in that because it's not a quarterback thing. Yeah, so that might drastically change where Lamar Jackson falls in some of this.
Never know.
But anyways, finally here, number one, Justin Jefferson, he falls from a 99 to a 97. Now, Joe, we don't see a big high drop-off like we do with the running backs with these ones.
Right.
I kept it really close to what, wide receivers, like you said, route running, catching, all the basics. Here. So we see a little bit of a tick off, and this is where I actually won't complain. If you say like a Justin Jefferson's a 97, he's one of the best, probably the best in the NFL right now. Tyreek Hill, is up there. Devontae Adams, again, still gets overshadowed. I think from how, oriented your team was last year with the Raiders and things like that, kind of got lost in the void.
But Adams still killed it.
Yeah. Absolute
Actually
beast,
had a better year than when he was with Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't that funny? And people totally didn't pay attention to it at all. I feel
they kind of overlooked it. Yeah, you're right.
So, here we go, Joe. Here is the new unveiling here of the new top 10 after all the stats have been here and all the new ratings here. I did not change it to wide receivers, but we know what it is, even though it says running backs here. I didn't change the headline, but there it is. The top wide receivers. Justin Jefferson with 97. Devontae Adams now jumps in the number 2 spot.
That's right.
Over Tyreek Hill. So they leapfrogged. And he's at 96, Tyreek Hill 95. Stephon Diggs
94.
Here at 94 with Jamar Chase. So those two grouped together, and Cooper Kupp has the biggest fall and falls down to 6th from, 4th.
Yes.
And Terry McLaurin there with DeAndre Hopkins falls a little bit too, only swaps the spot out. And Amari Cooper now flip-flops with A.J. Brown. So how do you feel about that even too, with A.J. Brown even dropping even further down?
I think A.J. Brown deserves to be up there.
Right. And I don't know if, again, this might be my bias again too. I'm not sure, but I feel like last year, like Amari Cooper, he might have had a really good year with Cleveland and stuff, but I maybe, again, he got overshadowed by where that team was kind of falling.
No, he didn't have a –
because I didn't think he really had a spectacular –
but he didn't have a spectacular year.
It's tough for me to kind of place – but who else do you put in place for, top 10 wide receivers? I could definitely – he's in the conversation, but you had other likes of other guys. Like, what we do when we do this top 10, I look at the next – 4 or so.
Right.
You've got your Mike Adams here,
CD
or Mike
Lamb.
Evans, CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel, and Keenan Allen, always in the conversation, but they still didn't do enough here to break into the top 10. You want to hear what Mike Evans' final rating was?
What's that?
After I crunched the numbers, it was a 90, an 89.5, which rounded up ended up being a 90.
Same thing.
He doesn't make it into it. Above that, CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, so he would have been next at number 11. And then it falls the same as Deebo Samuel and then Keenan Allen. So,
wow.
That didn't change, but
it's
just interesting.
Yeah, and it's different because, like, there's other guys, too. Like, I feel like if Amari Cooper had the Deshaun Watson of the from the Houston Texans, you know what I mean? If he was that crisp, you know what I mean, at quarterback and back to his old self, I feel like Cooper would have destroyed everybody. Like, he would have had a phenomenal year. Way better than what he had. So he could have been, kind of bumped up the ladder, so to speak, in this top 10 if he had if his quarterback was raring to go. So, obviously, like, there's all those kinds of variables, injuries and, production and what have you. But, like, yeah, there's guys like, A.J. Brown. I think that's one of the worst ratings for this season for wide receiver. I think he should have been much higher. Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, they had pretty good years. Like, I'm surprised that they're as low as they are.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel kind of came on strong in the latter part of the year, especially in the playoffs. Crazy.
Yeah.
But Keenan Allen's one of those guys where, like, it's surprising. He's been injured his whole career, basically. And then the last 2 seasons has been pretty darn healthy. So the production is always high. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe they change the ratings a little bit. You know how they critique them from time to time. So maybe they do make some adjustments.
Absolutely. But here we go. We got Mike Tackett in the house.
Oh, boy, here he is. What's
Sorry,
going
we're
on,
just
Mike?
getting to you, Mike. We get into that segment. We get wrapped in. But, Joe, what does he have to
He
say?
said, Happy August, boys.
Happy August
We're
to you too,
officially
Mike.
in NFL month.
That's
you
right.
are right, sir.
We're ready to go.
August. It's training camp, baby. It's kicking off, and we're ready for it.
We're here to a lot of news.
What, Hall of Fame game
Hall of Fame
is tomorrow,
Tomorrow
right?
night,
Yeah,
Thursday night. We got a Thursday night
Tomorrow.
game. That's
wow.
right.
I
Yeah.
get to watch football again?
Yeah.
So,
What channel is it going to be on? Anybody know out there again? Is it? It's not like an Amazon-based one and everything and stuff like too. Right? Or is it
no,
gonna-
it's usually
a
it's
bigger
usually
one 'cause
local.
It's the first one.
It's usually like I think it's like NBC or
That's
something
good.
like that.
I hope so. Actually, I
Mike-
think it is. Mike Tirico and all those guys, NBC. I think it's
right.
Yep.
Mike Tackett also says the Patriots have a second-round pick, 44th overall, and a third-round pick, 78th overall. The Bills have a second-round pick, 60th overall, and a third-round pick, 91st overall. Does Buffalo give up draft capital for Jonathan Taylor, or is New England still in the running since the Zeke deal seems to have fallen through? What I'll say about that is no, the Colts are not going to trade him. I mean, that's already been pretty much stated. I don't see them doing that. I think that's a last resort. I think the whole Jonathan Taylor demanding a trade, the Colts kind of going along with it, I think that's a last resort. If they really can't get anything done, then and only then the Colts will start to entertain that idea of trading him.
Stuff.
So I don't see that happening. I do think Taylor eventually is going to get a deal done. I mean, how often does this happen when a high caliber player demands a trade, he's upset with his contract, and then all of a sudden the team just says, all right, we give up, we're going to trade him? No, it doesn't normally happen. So it's very rare. We go back to like Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers. How rare was that whole situation to happen? He was very unhappy.
Yeah.
He wanted out. He wanted a bigger contract, this, that, and the other thing. And he, 1 out of a million, actually did what he said he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Held out as much as he possibly could. The Steelers said, okay, fine. If you don't want to be part of the team, then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
And ruined the rest of his career. So sometimes it doesn't always work out.
Nothing is impossible.
Mike Tackett also says Madden had physics-based locomotion system for ball carriers about 10 years ago, which that was still a thing, or wish that still was a thing. With today's hardware, it would make Madden fun. You're right. It would make it fun because 10 years ago, it seemed like it was just fun to play.
I think everything was better 10 years ago. For
Everything
a lot of
was
things,
better
right?
10 years
Everything
ago.
was better 10 years ago. I think so. Even with the newer inventions, some of the things they've had.
I know
and
I was
stuff
younger
like that,
10
but-
years ago.
Yeah. See,
So, yeah, it
everything
was
was better,
better.
right? Everything was better. Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, I think
Right.
it has probably been 10 years since it had fallen off. Like you and I always talked, and we
Right.
even had our edition there when we looked
Yeah,
at all
right.
the Madden
Oh,
covers.
yeah, that's
and
right,
we
that's
talked
right.
about all the games and what ones we thought were good. And
We liked the
we
scouting
thought-
better way
yeah,
back then.
I think we found that. I think at least 2011 was probably the best Madden, one of the best probably of all time. And just because with the mix of, gameplay, the way they reacted, and then also the franchise mode was fine. You could find and scout guys and draft right. And, motions were always wrong here and there, but it seems like now they're just happy with putting the same product out that was from previous years that they might have tweaked a little bit for online play. But then there's more glitches that come with it that are right out of the box. You know what I mean? On the drop day, it's just broken. You know.
Mike Tackett responded with, "Thanks, Obama."
Nice.
Still
You are fake
throwing Obama under the bus.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. Yep. But what was he else? He has something else to say out there.
Also said Madden reached an all-time low after the NCAA was canceled. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Because that was a game that everybody was looking forward to.
Yep.
Everybody. And still is.
Yeah.
Like, we're still clamoring for that game to come out. We keep hearing, like, oh, it's going to come out next year. It's going to be out. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're trying to build anticipation, but also losing a fan base at the same time because they keep prolonging it over and over and over. So I would agree with Mike because that game was one of those games where, like, it was college and you didn't have to be big into college football. The game itself with football, with the physical attributes that your players could have, the recruiting process, like everything about that game was amazing. And you know how, like, you have the animations in Madden now where, like, you try to juke and it doesn't even look like your guy's juking. In that game, it was a hard cut. Like, you saw your player shift his momentum and made the defender, like, completely miss. You know what I mean? Like, it was way ahead of its time and just a way better game and definitely more fun to play. So I hope that whenever this comes around, when we get our new college football game, I hope that it is at least the same or somehow enhanced and not ruined, because what EA has done with Madden up to this point is terrible. Like, there's always something to nitpick about that game.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Mike Tackett, but somebody else even shared something about, remember when the college football game, you can actually play as your player through the colleges and through the school, but then you can import your player into the Madden game and then continue your career on. I don't remember. There was 1 year, I think they made it so they simulated together or whatever. Right. You could load your character in. Yeah. And that was fun for more people because, again, you continue that journey.
That story, yeah.
And that story as you go through instead of creating a new My Player. And then you can bring them right on through. So you have that whole idea of you starting out from the very beginning all the way into your NFL career. I thought was really awesome, and they went away from things like that.
Yeah, no.
Instead, again,
Terrible.
It's whoever can slam each other and bash and do whatever arcade style on Madden on online. Yeah. Again, you know what I'm saying, and all about the tournaments and
power-ups.
Yeah,
Power-ups are ridiculous.
Power-ups, I think, is stupid. It always will be for me in my eyes, and what they do too. Let's put a superpower that they unlock after doing a certain couple things. It's dumb.
Yeah,
it's dumb. You think freaking players think about that, doing certain things in the game in real life, just unlock their superpower? I mean, come on.
Tell them how you really feel, Jim.
It sucks. I hate Madden now, dude. It sucks. I don't play it. I'll tell you, I don't. But whatever. You won't get my money ever, Madden, so we're good.
There you go.
Yep. Joe, so yeah, I mean, we've talked about a lot of different things. We're going to do some more in the next coming weeks. Next week, we are going to be getting into our breakdowns of the divisions, too. We're going to start off with the AFC and NFC North and things like that. So training camps are gearing up. Any headlines you're hearing out there with training camps that intrigue you anything right now?
So, like, obviously there's been some signings, like rookie signings have taken place. Devon Witherspoon was like the last rookie to sign, and that was kind of a big deal for some reason. But, you know, now that teams have taken care of their rookie signings and everything, they're looking forward to training camp. Let's see if any of these rookies can kind of stand out or even impress some of the fan bases and coaches going forward, and maybe some people lose their jobs because of these new bloods coming in.
New bloods, absolutely. I know one thing I brought up, I found out too. I mean, this past week here with some of the headlines. I mean, Sean Payton talking about the Broncos, what they're doing. You know, two of their wide receivers now. You know,
Tim Patrick done for the year.
But then also the condition that
Hamlin.
KJ Hamler has. Yep. So what are they going to do there? If rely on Courtney Sutton and Jerry Jeudy?
They're going to sign a free agent just like any other team would. You know, so who that might be, we'll have to wait and see. Because Sean Payton is very particular on certain type of receivers that he likes. I know he was in love with Tim Patrick. I know that for sure. Like, the size of the guy, the way he could move, and he had speed to go with it. He had a bright future. Let's see if he can come back healthy yet again, because this is the second time something that serious has happened to the fella. And I wonder, is this going to be a reoccurring thing now for him, now having yet another serious injury back to back? Other than that, another kind of like interesting thing was Talia Tagovailoa says
Tua.
he was offered. No, not Tua. Talia.
Oh,
This is his brother.
his brother. Oh, okay.
Was offered $1.5 million to transfer from Maryland to by an SEC team. $1.5 million to transfer.
To transfer. Now
That
you're
is
seeing,
crazy.
This is what happens now, that they can get money for all these things now, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's a buyer's market.
It
It's
is
really
now,
what it
but,
is.
I mean, it's nuts now. So anybody who has the all those backers for all these boosters and everything, whoever has the deepest pockets now are going to start bidding wars. It's going to get college football. I think
like
is
it.
going to get a lot crazier now.
I like
because
it.
now that the money's involved.
Yeah.
it's all over the place. So. Again, I think some of these programs are going to benefit from that.
Right.
I mean, they tried to fight it tooth and nail about players getting paid and stuff, but they're going to dip in and get their some too, whatever they can.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody out there. Thanks to all the know-it-alls, even the OG know-it-alls that have been here since day one. Mike, Paul, to name a couple. Tom Leiter's another one that comes to mind. Thank you guys so much for the tremendous support of our show. We keep it going, man. This is a lot of fun to do, and we enjoy doing it. Thanks to all our sponsors out there. That's always amazing. And also, listen, if you're new to the show, we're trying to grow this football community. Do us a huge favor. Help us grow on the algorithm over on YouTube. Head over to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, please. Hit the notification bell, let you guys know when we go live. And, of course, you can follow on Facebook. Tag along that way as well. Drop a follow. Become a member. Become a know-it-all. And anywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, drop a follow there. Take us along in the car ride. Bring us to work. Listen to our gibberish that we talk about at NFL all the time. So thanks so much, everybody, and please do that. Help us grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I want to touch real quick on
sure.
Mike Tackett here.
Yeah, what's he got?
The little bit that he had about Zeke, because I want to finish that question that he had.
Oh, sure.
Since the whole Zeke thing kind of fell through, I don't think it's done by any means. I think Zeke is just in this mindset, just like when the Cowboys were talking to him. I think he still has this number in his head that he deserves, and that he's not going to sign anywhere until either A, he breaks down and says, all right, well, if I want to play this year, I should take whatever I can get. But I still think he has this mentality that he deserves so much money, and I think that's kind of like a wall that for him. Like, I think that deal with the Patriots should have been done already. I thought it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. I think
Zeke
that
coming
they're
there, running back by committee approach. You have a battering ram in Zeke and everybody else that you got in the backfield. So I thought it made a lot of sense, and I thought it was a typical Patriot signing, and it just didn't happen yet. Doesn't mean that it won't. But I think it's one of those things where, maybe they kick the tires on Kareem Hunt now. So we'll see. But I think Zeke will sign somewhere. I think it's this money thing. These guys believe or think that they deserve X amount of millions of dollars, and so far no team has come close to it.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook, Zeke Elliott's still out there. We're gonna follow.
Dalvin Cook is
so
he took a visit with the Jets.
I know he's there with the Jets.
I know the Jets are kind of one of his favorites right now, and which is interesting because Rodgers is there now, so you got some great weapons. Garrett Wilson back for his second year. There's a lot of hype around the New York Jets right now, and rightfully so. Much improved offensive line, a lot of guys coming back healthy.
Yep.
And it's exciting.
It's a new hype,
for the Jets.
definitely, especially with them on Hard Knocks again this time around. It's a different feel, and they're really feeling the energy. And I think they're a team that really now just adding that quarterback. That just shows you getting that veteran type of quarterback that, again, it's future Hall of Famer, what it could do for the franchise. We saw what it did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they finally got Tom Brady in the house, and it wasn't.
You just saw guys flocking
to go there, and you're building your personnel, and then people feeling confident that they can do something. And that's a big thing, to sway it into the right direction. So, but if they end up failing, it is going to be bad for Robert Saleh and then again Nathaniel Hackett again, because how many people are going to say, like, hey, they did the things of the opposite the wrong way again. They screwed it all up with Aaron Rodgers. But
one other thing
Aaron
is
Rodgers seems really happy there though too. You see that a little bit? He's got a little more pep in his step, not doom and gloom.
I think now that everything is settled,
Yep.
But
He won't be sleeping in caves anymore.
The interesting thing is that Rodgers actually announced that he was 100% ready to retire.
Yeah.
When he came out, like he said that he was so ready to retire that it took some convincing to come back and play. So take that for what you will. Just saying, it can happen next year. He could just retire, and it is what it is. But I will say this: I think if the Jets they were close last year. Now that they have the firepower at quarterback, they have some extra weapons now, a much improved offensive line, a lot of good things working for them. If Rodgers and the Jets are put something together here and they make the playoffs, they lead the division, something like that, I think Rodgers is definitely going to stick around. But if it's like a 500 type of situation for some odd reason, whether it be injuries or, whatever, then I don't think he'll come back. I think it's going to be based on this year, like how successful the Jets can be. And I think they're going in the right direction for sure.
Yep.
We got more comments
up here.
Mike Tackett, lighten up the board here. So many guys get bad advice starting in college to declare early, and it continues in the pros for some. The key is getting a solid agent and good people around you. Absolutely. The proof is in the pudding with those who made good and bad decisions. And you're absolutely right there. And it kind of it doubled up for some reason, the message.
All right.
But
gets us more compliments.
He's right. It's a huge thing for a player, whether you're coming into the league or you're going into college. And to make the right choice, what school to go to, what life decisions. It's who you surround yourself with, like friends, family members, and then agents get involved. And like, what kind of agent are you getting? Because when he puts in a bold comment there, solid, bold word, solid agent. It's a big deal. You don't want someone that's going to use you. And then when you're no good to them, kind of throw you to the side or ignore you type of deal. You want someone that's going to look out for your back. You know what I mean? Like someone that is going to be there by your side if you need them. So like a mentor. So to speak. So I see what he's saying, but it doesn't happen that often. Like a lot of times these agents now, they're not always looking out for the best interest in the young man. You know what I mean? They're looking out for themselves a lot of times. And yeah, you can find agents that are that way, that are there to like really help. But it is tough. It's not easy. So again, just like kind of reiterating what Mike said, like follow yourself or surround yourself with the right people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you don't have the right people in your corner here, starting out in your career, it's going to be a lot tougher. It makes me wonder even too with Saquon Barkley with his deal and stuff, like what was going on between him and his agent too with things. And then when he eventually ended up, he had that epiphany and then signed the deal here, this one year deal. So I'm
I think the whole time,
something there.
Honestly, that for that to happen, the agent's been working with the organization the whole time. And then we're just about to like, okay, last ditch effort. Let's try this instead.
It's
Saquon.
finally route here.
They called Saquon. His agent called Saquon. We didn't get a long-term deal yet, but would you be willing to do this? And he said, yeah, I'll do that for the 1 year, blah, blah, blah. And, that's kind of how it came together. So, Niners news here. Frank Gore agrees to contract to join the Niners front office, who played 10 seasons with San Fran, which is kind of a cool nostalgia moment for fans. Like now Frank Gore is going to be part of the front office there with them.
Yep. And other news out there too, I heard out there that there's a petition too about, now we have a new owner of the Washington Commanders. That finally went through, and everybody's,
it's official now.
Daniel Snyder's out and stuff. And I heard even an interview with Adam Schefter and the new owners, ownership group here. And he's the long time, Redskins Commanders fan, going there when he was growing up at RFK and stuff. And I just read something interesting that there's a petition going around here, and there's over 50,000 people have signed this to try and convince the Harris Group to change the name back from now the Commanders back to the Redskins. I don't think it would ever happen, but imagine if it did. I mean, because you think about it, because you don't want to laugh, but if they end up saying, yeah, you know what, maybe it's been enough time, everybody's kind of chill now. Daniel's not here anymore. It's bringing back to the heritage, that I grow up, going to, and blah, 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 and it honors this guy. But it's bringing back the Redskins, and all of a sudden they go back to it, and people are okay with it. Then you just know that it was a witch hunt against Daniel Snyder the whole time. You know what I mean? Just because they just really hated him that much. And it didn't offend that many people. But, again, you think it's going to get shoot down again. But it's funny how many people are diehard into this that they're going to sign it. They really want that name back.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't ever see it happening. Like just like you said, they've moved
clickbait, like trying to throw a dangle in front of you.
They've moved past this situation, and now to go back to it, it doesn't make any sense to do that, because how much backlash are you going to take from doing that? Is it going to affect your ticket sales? Is it going to affect how the fan base gets divided or something like that? So I don't think they're going to risk that and go back to that.
Yeah. It started a whole movement, though. You see it now. We had a little bit of a segment about this on our show about locally. By next year, the local area teams around here and schools have to change their mascots.
I think it's bullshit, but that's just me.
We had a segment about it, and it's a true thing.
Listen,
my kids, when they go to school, they were the Warriors or whatever, and now they're Silver Warriors, but that's not good enough, again, because there's enough
that's
around
terrible.
it that is related to that.
There's tradition. There's tradition with that school. It's been like that for so long that, now all of a sudden you want to change it. Why? Just because a couple of people are up in arms about the name? Come on. To me, that's a little ridiculous. If it's always been there and that's tradition and that's what the school's always been known for and everything, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't make it a big deal. It's not. People are making it a big deal. But real quick, we were talking about Jonathan Taylor earlier, and it's funny because I just noticed this. But their backup, Zach Moss, who signed a free agent deal, broke his arm.
Yeah.
And so the running back depth is down by one yet again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if Taylor isn't there and Zach Moss is going to be missing a lot of time, who are you going? Are you going to be in the Dalvin Cook race now, or
I don't know? I heard they just brought in Kenyon Drake to look at him and see what he can offer.
Kenyon Drake's he's a good back, but it's
he just went to visit there, so.
But it's just like one of those things. It's
They'll
just a
definitely
Band-Aid.
be shopping for something.
It's a Band-Aid. You just just give Taylor the deal. Come on,
just get it done. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what people look at too. What kind of depth you have if he's not there, and he could use that as leverage. Right now, but. Again, we'll see how it all plays out. It's the funny offseason. The NFL season is getting started. Kicked off tomorrow night. Joe, you excited about anything with tomorrow night's game? You excited? You're not going to see a lot of starters maybe if they play a game or a set of plays.
Wait,
or
Zach
so.
Wilson's not the starter?
Zach Wilson.
Wait, he's not? Are you kidding me?
He didn't win a job. No, surprisingly not. He didn't.
Really? They just started training camp. What do you mean?
That's right. That's right. He did not win the job, but there's some exciting new guys to see what we can see what the two teams. So that's one thing. I'm
excited,
and new rules.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the rookies play. I'm excited to see it's football. Finally, we're getting football back. I know it's only preseason. I know it doesn't matter in terms of win and loss, but. Again, it's fun to watch. I can't wait to watch it and see some of these young players coming up. And who knows? You might see some maybe undrafted free agents that surprise you. You might see some guys that you never heard about, and you're like, who's that guy? You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure every other team in the league is going to watch that game because they're all free to, and they're going to be looking for some maybe hidden talent that they could kind of poach from. Other than that. News on the Alvin Kamara front. He plans to meet with Roger Goodell to discuss his arrest in 2022. So maybe try to not eliminate, but maybe kind of reduce the suspension that he's going to be given. Other than that, there's, obviously like the signings and everything happened. Oh, here's something else that's interesting. Remember Achilles Smith?
Yeah.
Well, his son, who is a 4-star quarterback, has decided to go to Oregon. He's made his decision, and he
Ohio
is going
State
to Oregon. And,
right?
a couple of other teams were involved and chose Oregon. So I think he just chose Oregon because of all the crazy uniforms he's going to get to wear.
Yeah, it could be. Well, we'll see. Maybe, he could be a bust like his dad was. Who knows?
Come on, man. Let's
Shots fired. Had to.
Yeah. Other than that, we got a little bit of news here. Nickelodeon to air NFL Super Bowl 2024 alternate broadcast.
Heard about that.
Stream on Paramount Plus. This is going to be the first time that there's going to be two
broadcasts of
the Super Bowl simultaneously.
Yes.
So that's kind of big news
what are
for
you guys
them.
Thoughts on that? I don't know. Mike has kids.
I'm cool with it.
Your kids are older, so
It's not going to change nothing.
Watch Nickelodeon or not, but I don't know. It's kind of funny because I even heard two bros and a cup of Joe. Two pros and a cup of Joe. I don't know what the hell they're called. They're on Fox Sports Radio. It's Brady Quinn, Lamar Arrington, and they were talking about it, and they brought up one point that I'm like, yeah, I guess so, maybe. But if, say, kids decide to watch it, and they say, you know what, I'll give it a try. This is the NFL. Let me give it a try. And they're doing the splash and everything, and maybe that is what they get into. They're like, oh, look at what they're doing. And then they get into watching a normal game, and they're like, oh, where's the fun stuff? Where's the fun stuff that they do about it? Yeah, where's the cool
fireworks?
Animations? Or where's that? And then they're kind of like, this is kind of boring then or something like that. So it's kind of weird. Like, I understand maybe what they're trying to get at, where maybe they do foresee the way kids are now, where they're quick to watch shorts on YouTube all the time. This, short attention span, maybe not paying attention to the NFL as much and some of the other different things that they got going on in their lives that they're trying to attract that. So, because as us older people that kind of grew up with the NFL, the way it has been, the gridiron and the games, trying to attract that younger audience that they feel they might not be able to get in tune with. Yeah,
I mean it's interesting. I don't really have much to say about it, but it is what it is.
Mike Tackett says, my 9-year-old girl says, Dad, this sucks. So, but does she think just football sucks, or just in the Nickelodeon version? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's
I've watched it too, and I think the Nickelodeon version kind of sucks.
I mean, here's the thing.
And they have Nate Burleson on there, which I get. It's just cool. But then some of the kids, it seems, or you're having the kids on there. I get it, and that's the way Disney is. Nickelodeon's built that way.
Right.
They find their stars that are child actors or whatever, and try to promote the hell out of these kids and trying to make them mini adults. I get it, whatever, because they're trying to further their careers to become adult famous actors as well. We've seen it with a bunch of others. Ariana Grande became a bigger superstar in music and stuff from Nickelodeon. But some of them don't know shit about the NFL and stuff, and they're trying to talk about it like analysts, like over the game and everything.
Oh, yeah,
and you're kind of like, and then as an adult, I mean, again, you're kind of geared towards kids, but as an adult, you're watching, you're like, dude, what the frig is this kid doing? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, that's the thing is, like, if you're going to try to teach the younger generation about the sport, then you need to do it at their level. You can't like talk like a grown adult type of deal and try to explain. Oh well, it was first down on the last down, and then they decided to punt on fourth down, and just kind of run through it type of deal. You're not learning anything. Kids are watching and are like, wait, what did he just say?
Though, I mean, that's what I mean. You can't expect the kids you can't figure that out. I mean, I did. I grew up watching John Madden and Pat Summerall, and even
you got to remember though, like we grew up in a different time. So like in today's time, where maybe it takes a little bit of added sparkle and flash, some spadazz, if you will, on the television.
Done.
Maybe you can entice some of these kids to get a little bit more, grow it in popularity that way. But I mean, honestly, to me, I really don't care. Like it's just another way to watch it. So if like you want your kids to watch it in their room or something, or whatever, however way you do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's just another way to watch it. That's how I look at it. Big deal.
Mike Tackett says hashtag 7 hours of commercial-free
football.
I like it. What do you think about, Mike? What do you think? Have you watched the Netflix show, The Quarterbacks, at all? Let us know in the comments. To anybody out there, have you been following this? I don't. Like I told you, Joe, I sit back and don't watch these shows until later. They're already
what's going
past.
on with you lately?
But I don't know. I decided to throw it on there one time. I was folding some laundry, and I was like, whatever.
That's what it was.
That's what it is.
Passing the time.
Passing the time. So I threw it on there, and then I like it.
You know,
I like
here's the crazy thing is
sides.
you keep seeing article after article about quarterbacks that were turning down Netflix. They don't want to do it. Justin Fields was one of them. Said no, I don't want to do that. And there's a couple others that
Justin
came
Herbert too.
That just recently, Herbert's another. They're just refusing to do it. So my thing is like, what is the requirement that you when to do that show? Like, is it too much for some of these players where they're just like, no, I don't want to do all that. I don't want you guys following me to the grocery store. I don't want you guys following me home. I don't want to. That's my private life. I don't want that. So, I feel like maybe Netflix might strike out in a sense. Like, they're doing a good job, for the quarterbacks that agreed to it. But I think it might end up being short-lived because I'm seeing a lot more no's and very few yeses.
Yeah, and it might have to be the right situation. But I tell you what, the one time that they do find the train wreck out there, I bet you it's gold for them.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because I get it for, quarterbacks that are out there that are single, even right now and stuff like that, don't have a family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why are you following me around? Now I'm going to go out the club. Yeah. Maybe they might catch me when I'm drinking now or something. Then I really got the cameras all over me.
Speaking of drinking, Mike Tackett goes, I miss drunk Bernie Kosar in the booth talking about his ex-wife during the games. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you, you want to talk about even quarterbacks that were terrible. I think I even, back when we first started a couple of years ago, back in the early days, I think I even did a segment where it was quarterbacks who lost in their careers, but won outside their careers. And Bernie Kosar, again, marrying, like supermodel or something like that. And some of these other guys' wives, they end up winning and getting, supermodel wives and things like that. He was one of them.
Mike Tackett also said that Zach Wilson last year would have been gold.
Yes.
That would have been different.
Especially with the whole mom thing situation going on,
God.
mom's friend or something.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. It would have been nuts.
Netflix was a year late.
Yeah, they were. They were.
They really were.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Johnny Manziel, that's right, your favorite Texas A&M quarterback, former Heisman Trophy winner, opening a nightclub bar at Texas A&M, so he can party with the students and get in trouble all over again.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the limelight enough. So again, that's what I mean. Like you said, we have seen him
why
party
this
with
is news.
students and everything, and that's why. Yeah, that's why he's looking to party with them now. And say whatever. I'm going to open a nightclub and then I'll be there partying with you guys. Still trying to relive his glory days.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's getting to see Patrick Mahomes go back to Texas Tech and getting his name in the Ring of Honor there and stuff and honor down Patrick Mahomes, and he's trying to drum up whatever he can back.
He's
over
a god.
Yeah,
in Texas A&M.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, we're excited. Football season start. We got a lot more.
The
to
Texas
talk
A&M
about.
helmet right there.
There it is, right? The Johnny Manziel one right there.
It's
right?
The Manziel special right there.
Special right there. That's right. So yeah, we have more to come. Absolutely out there. So we're excited to talk about this stuff with you guys. Another season. And again, we say it every year, but I think this season's going to be just as crazy the last couple, Joe.
Yeah. And you know what? We never know what's going to happen because there's a lot of surprises every single year. And who knows, maybe the Jonathan Taylor thing, grows fruit and he does get traded. Or we're just right like always and he stays home.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
Tune in.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. It's been a lot of fun.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.